What's going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. White woman explains what it's like growing up in an all-white community and how that affects her, right? And I've been trying to tell you, there are some white people who lives in all-white communities who's never even seen a black person in real life. I've met white people in the military. This is where I learned a lot of this shit. The military is a great place for people who would never encounter each other to encounter each other, right? I've met white people who said I was the first black person they've ever met. I was the first black person they ever talked to. And they were shocked with my vocabulary. They were shocked with how intelligent I was. They were completely and totally shocked and enamored. And let me tell you something. I'm talking about the most racist Mississippi type I'm talking about clan family, people who've been in the clan because they were born into it. Those type of white boys. And they met me and they was impressed to the point to where they just was bragging about me. Oh, I'm talking, they would come to me and just reveal shit that I wasn't asking about just because they were so excited that they got to be around a black person and they couldn't believe I was nothing like what they saw on TV, right? And so and what we don't understand, if you live in a city, right, we are exposed to the world. There's a lot of Americans in the inner states, they're not exposed to the world. Their entire access to the world is via the television. And keep in mind, cable is new. The internet is new. So for the most part, their experiences with the rest of the world, their understandings and the way they build their perspective is based off what some conservative white TV tube news channel said on a controlled device called a television that we used to not be able to pause. There was a time when if you don't sit your ass down there at 7 o'clock to see that show, you don't know whenever you're going to see that episode, so you best be there. There was a time where people would have to be in front of the TV at a certain time or you were going to miss it. Therefore, the powers that be knew when we was going to be sitting in front of the TV. They knew it. So it was easy to program us like we was in school and shit, right? They knew we were going to be in front of that TV from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And they put all the propaganda right up in them commercials and infomercials and all that shit. Same way they got us with them infomercials telling us all African people were poor. All African people were starving and shit and swollen and got AIDS and shit. And we need to give them 75 cents a month. Even though those corporations that took our 75 cents are multi-billion-dollar corporations that have been taking advantage of those very same people we thought we was helping. Right? Right? So there are white folks who are racist, not because they choose to be racist based off real world experiences, but there are some who are racist because they were programmed, because they live in societies where there's no other programming. And those kind of people who are racist because of ignorance, some of them are deconstructing themselves. That's why the Republicans shun education. That's why the Republicans are anti-intellectual. Because what happens is their children go off to college, and that is another place, just like the military, where you get to meet all kinds of people from other places in a place of education. And you're competing with them scholastically. And that's where you find out that you're not as superior as you think you are, because you get to compete in the classroom and on the football and basketball field. You find out all that superior shit you was talking about is bullshit. And that was just used to pander for you and to fluff you and to make you feel good and to tuck you in at night to say that you are still special despite the fact that there are other people who can do things better than you. Or they go to college and they realize that these people are not as evil as they were programmed to be. Or these people are not as mean and sadistic as I was programmed to be. Or they find out that this white world that was crafted for them via propaganda in these little small podunk ass towns and hollers and shit in the middle of America, you come to find out that they are the racist ones. That you grew up on the wrong side of history. That your parents are racist. Some of these white people don't even realize that their parents are racist because they don't even know what racism is. Because they grew up in it. Sometimes when you in the shit, you don't know what the shit is. You think it's normal, right? So I always take that shit into consideration after learning that to be a case, right? You got some racists who are racist knowing all the truths because they are in fact truly evil. Then you got some racists who are racist because they have been programmed, right? There's two different things. You can deal with them separately in different ways. Even sometimes you be forced to deal with them the same way. But, you know, you have to just think life is a lot more complicated than we like to admit. And I don't like just to destroy everything with a bomb. I'm trying to snipe these people out. I want to snipe these people out. Surgical precision, right? Because ultimately, at some point, everybody on the planet is going to have to get together. because the aliens are coming and we better be united or we're fucked. Okay? So that day is going to come at some point, right? In order to get there, there has to be some understanding built. We can't just be fighting for the sake of fighting. That's a waste of goddamn time. The reason why you fight is because both of you have opposing ideologies and verbal negotiations that broke down. So now it's time to physically impose that ideology onto other people. All right? That's how the world works. So now it's time for educated, intelligent, enlightened people to physically and scholastically, all right, impose their will on this culture which has been damaging to the world, which is white racist culture. All right? And that's going to take white people who realize that they are actually melanated as well, just very, very light beige, pink, brown, right, to deconstruct white supremacy and racism and eliminate it, cancel it, destroy it, right, eviscerate it in order for us to move forward. All right, because they won't be able to unite with the rest of the world until they deal with that shit in house, right? So I do appreciate those light-skinned folks that come out and they speak truth to power, and they're not afraid of the backlash of their community, who see them as traitors to their community because they have the audacity to want to be human, to want to be good people. They have the audacity to actually believe in that Bible and that Christianity they say they are part of, and do what it is that the character Jesus said we should be doing on this earth. Because they have the audacity to practice their Christianity in its truest form, they are pariahs of their community. All right, so I give them props. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
A quick story on how this white girl grew up in a completely white town, not taught anything but white. Let's get into it. Grew up in a very small town in Iowa, and its name is Storm Lake. This small town in Iowa, as I was growing up, I only saw white people. There were not any people of color in school. Wait, yes, there was. There were 2 black guys, and they were adopted from one family. I didn't believe that there was Mexicans, but we weren't taught Mexican, so we didn't know what that was, okay? So we didn't know. It was only white, and that's all we knew. Until a big hailstorm hit that town one day, and the next thing you knew, there were Mexicans coming to town. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a Mexican, how cool. We're finally seeing a different culture. And then the Asians started to come slowly but surely, because in this town, there was a pork plant and a turkey plant. So there was big manufacturing companies for people to come to this town and work. So slowly, in my teenage years, I started seeing some Mexican, some Asian, and then I never saw black. But ironically, me and my best friend cruising around this small town one day, we call it cruising the loop. We actually saw this big, buff, beautiful, handsome, muscular man. And I was like, oh my God, girl, look at that guy. And we're all like, oh my God, and he's so tan, blah, 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 blah. So later that exact same day, we saw this beautiful tan man at a bar and discovered that he was not tan. He was black. But my God, was he beautiful. I actually married that first black man that I ever saw and didn't even realize he was black. I learned a lot from marrying and falling in love with this black man. I loved the culture. I loved how I loved all people. I loved just the way that they lived versus white. I mean, I'm sorry, people, but black guys, they got it going on, and they have a lot better parties, if you know what I'm saying. So the reality of this little past, blast from the past of mine is I got out of this little small town. I explored the world. I have learned that people are people, and you don't have to be white to make it. You can be black and be a happy person. You can be Asian. You can be anything, and they all are amazing cultures. So the people that are still stuck in this small town and they're little mega freaks, they haven't understood or had the opportunity to be able to see what the world really is instead of just a boring little white people town.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.